Are we filming? Yes, we are. So welcome to another video in which I talk about filofaxes, other binders, and paper-based productivity in general. This video is a very short one, and it concerns binders with rings or indeed discs where you can insert extra pages, move them around, etc. So this is what we're here for, isn't it? This is why we find these binders so interesting. It's because of their versatility. And today I'm going to talk about the versatility of diaries and how you can improve that versatility beyond the design of the original diary. Let me explain. If we have, and I'm just taking a diary at random, so this is a personal sized. This is actually a filofax rather than a filofax, but it's the same principle. The ring sizes haven't changed for over 100 years, so they are interchangeable, and that is important because it's easy to get a diary that fits, and it's easy to get blank paper that will also fit. And if we can't get it, we can get a hole punch and we can cut and punch to our desires. So, what exactly am I banging on about? Okay, so take this example where you have a week on 2 pages. Very, very common. Sometimes this is not enough, and this is where my tip is valid today. So just supposing this is okay, it's good enough most of the time, but occasionally it's not enough, and that is the thing that many of us agonize about. It's a bit like a parking ticket. We have to pay for parking in the UK, and quite often we put our money in the machine, or these days we put our card in the machine, and we have to estimate how much parking time we need before we've done our shopping or we've done whatever task or errands we're planning on achieving that day. So quite often we have to pay extra just in case. Quite often we will buy a diary with more real estate, more space than we need for most entries. So someone might decide to have a week on 1 page, but then regret later on if they're running out of space, buying that diary and wish they bought one of these, a week on 2 pages. Or someone buys one of these and it's not enough, and they wish they had bought a day to a page, or 2 days per page. So a bit of a conundrum that we have faced, possibly for 100 years, maybe more. So this is my solution. This is my tip. So at the back of your diary, you have some blank sheets of paper, and then if you find yourself in that awkward position where you run out of space on the given day, what you do, I'm just going to do this off camera because I should have had a second camera, but I'm not really doing that at the moment. So for ease of simplicity, 1 camera. So there we go. So what I've done is I have just added some lines that roughly corresponds to the separating lines of the pre-printed diary, and I've done it both sides. And so you insert this. If, for instance, let's take August the 22nd, okay, and let's say you've filled that in and you've run out of space, this then becomes your extra real estate for August the 22nd, and that's it, and it can stay in there. And by virtue of the fact that you've got this page here, you can turn it over to see the next few days of the week. It's not a problem, but it's always facing in. That is my recommendation. It's always facing. Or you might find that you could have a whole page just for that one day. Let's say you've got a wedding to go to on Sunday the 27th, and you need 10 times the space. Excuse me. You've got a lot going on that Sunday. You could just insert a page without the lines, and then you've got plenty of space, and it is in the right position in the diary to flick through and say, yes, well, I've got all that stuff to do. So it's inserted into the diary. You don't have to put a little note at the bottom, say, please refer to moleskin or something like that, or please refer to this piece of A4 that I've got folded in my bag that's got a red stripe on it to denote from the other bits of pages and the bills and the circulars that are in the bag as well. So it is in the right place, so it's very visual, it's very, very easily. And you might go through a whole year and only need to do this a few times. So you've almost certainly got enough spare paper to achieve this slight expansion of your diary, and it looks very, very efficient. You could maybe have these as a different colour to denote. You could have these as, just choose a colour, and then that is an additional extra page. It's not part of the diary, but it's in the right place. And then once you have, if you only have to use part of it, well, later on you can cross that off, and you can use this as for scribbling or doodling, or some notes, or some manual calculations. For goodness sake, use the paper. Don't throw it away without filling it in. That's a real bugbear of mine. I like to use the paper in its entirety. But I think that's a very elegant solution to this perennial problem of not necessarily having the right amount of space in your diary because you have inadvertently chosen too small a diary, or you have an unexpected heavy workload on one particular day, and that might give you the opportunity to trade down. I mean, we're all trading down these days because of the cost of food. We're going for a lower budget brand of food, where you could go for a slimmer diary. In other words, here is a diary that has a week on 2 pages. Well, maybe I could cut corners and slim down the number of inserts in my filofax by going to a week on 1 page, and then use one of these pages if it is necessary. Maybe that's a good idea too. But that would have appeal if you're the sort of person that wants everything all in one place, all in one big overstuffed filofax. And there's an appeal to that. I totally get it. You can stuff your filofax even more if you employ this method, in my opinion. Thank you very much for watching and sharing and liking and subscribing. And until next time, thank you very much and goodbye.